So today, me and Cosmic Cognition will do the fourth video in our series discussing basically healthy lifestyle choices. In this video, we are going to discuss health and nutrition tips. So the first thing that we want to talk about is what should you eat and what you shouldn't eat. So if you want to start it off, you can go ahead.
I mean, there's some basics to that, especially when you look at the American populace. We're almost force-fed junk food on a regular basis. It's like the most ubiquitous option you have when you roll down the street. Burger King, McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? You drive down the street and you can pick up fast food really quickly. Even when you're in the grocery store, there's
You
a lot
don't
of
even
stuff.
have to leave the car.
You don't even have to leave the car.
Just go to the drive-thru.
Those legs, you know what I'm saying? If you eat at McDonald's, they should make you automatically switch over to a Flintstones vehicle. You gotta pedal with your feet or something.
Wow. So the first thing that we want to talk about is don't drink sugary calories. And the reason for this is because your brain doesn't register sugary or liquid sugary calories the same way it does solid sugary calories. And in doing so, you're basically getting more calories thrown into your body. Another key point that we also wanted to discuss is avoiding processed junk foods. Now in America, you see all the time junk food all over the grocery market or grocery store, and it's cheap, very, very cheap. You can buy a box of Flamin' Hot Cheetos cheaper than you can buy a block of cheese. And this is something that has been evident throughout American society, where people are literally, in order to save money, going to grocery stores and buying junk food instead of healthy foods because it's just cheaper. The food companies have made also with processed junk foods, they put stuff in them that makes them addictive. Your brain thinks that you're not getting enough of certain things, so then it wants more, even though you have had far more than you need on a daily intake.
I've heard the same thing about like high fructose corn syrup and trans fats and stuff like that.
And then also another big thing is that you should eat fruit and vegetables. Now this is something that's at the core of a healthy eating lifestyle.
Literally, getting to the core of an apple will make you healthier.
Basically, and not like the what is it, like the candy flavor or the apple flavored Skittles or whatever.
Nah.
An actual apple. And also you should make sure you get enough proteins in your diet. Now, if you want to talk about proteins,
right. So I've been told, especially by my grandparents, they're aging individuals and they've been taking very good care of themselves. Not only do you want to do athletic activities, you also want to make sure that you want to curb down some of your red meat intakes. And the better things that they talk about are more of your white meats, things like chicken and turkey, in particular, because they're leaner usually, as well as the fact that there's excess things in red meat that experts are saying isn't as good for you as things like chicken. So another part about health and nutrition that we really like to talk about is sleep health. There's a topic called sleep hygiene, which Chris and I have researched on recently, particularly because I have really bad sleep habits, and I went to the doctor. He gave me a pamphlet on it. But Chris, what are some basic things that you'd like to talk about sleep as far as misconceptions?
well, a lot of people think that getting a good, nice quality sleep is just doing or getting 8 hours of sleep. And that's just half the battle. The other half is making sure that you are in an environment that is, first off, quiet. You need to make sure that you don't have disruptions and when you're sleeping, because you have what's called REM, which is rapid eye movement sleep, where that's basically the best. That's like the best part of being or going to sleep, is that part of the cycle where you dream and things in that manner. But then when you're constantly being awakened either by a partner or external noises outside, then this can affect your sleep cycle. It can also decrease the physical and mental performance of the next day. And there's been a lot of diseases and ailments that have been associated with having sleep deprivation, and then also REM sleep deprivation as well.
So a lot of things that can help your sleep hygiene. One in particular is screens like laptops, smartphones, even television. You want to get away from certain screens, especially when you're in your bedroom or immediately before you're about to go to sleep. Other than that, you don't want to have activities that aren't incredibly sleep focused in your bed, aside from one in particular, if you know what I'm saying. That means you don't want to take your bed to be a place that's other than sleeping.
Yes,
you don't want it to be associated with just sleep. Aside from that, exercising throughout the day and various activities that can help you get ready to sleep, sometimes deep breathing, and even counting sheep for some people.
Yes, and the one point that he made about making sure that your bedroom is a place where you sleep and not a place of other activities is something that has helped me improve my sleep. I used to have sleep problems all the time when I first started college, mainly due to the external noises. A lot of times I think it was a full-size bed, and having a partner is very hard to not be disrupted when someone might roll over and slightly awaken or make you awake or whatever. So
Next topic.
the next thing that we want to talk about on this list is avoiding trans fats. Now, we're at trans fats, Carrie.
Chris, that's your expertise.
Well, unfortunately, this is something that I've been trying to take out of my diet because trans fats are. So, what are trans fats? They're basically a way that food companies increase the preservation of foods. Basically, that's what it is. But then these trans fats are very unhealthy for you to a point where it's pretty much recommended by most food and medical associations to just completely cut out trans fats out of your diet completely.
So it's unnecessary.
Yes, because most naturally occurring foods already have a sufficient amount of trans fats in them that you don't need to actually have increased or artificial trans fats, I would say, in your diet.
Okay. So you're gonna cut out the Coca-Cola, right?
It's hard, man. I can't go cold turkey. I'm having a can every 2 days now.
All right, that's good. That's a good start.
Gotta start somewhere. The next topic on our list is keeping social relationships. Now, this doesn't seem like something that would be, discussed much when it comes to health and nutrition. But honestly, human beings are very, very socially oriented creatures. And it just goes to show that when you don't have that social stimuli, it messes you up. Look at our prison system where they have solitary confinement. A lot of those people might go in relatively, I would say, mentally normal, and they come out having all sorts of issues because they are not able to interact with other human beings. So,
solitary confinement in many cases has been shown to be a negative way of dealing with our prison population. Prison in general, there's a lot of negatives associated, but the thing that we have to realize is when you don't interact with people, your brain, which already has a lot of its pieces and parts attributed for that activity, it gets confused. Sometimes those areas get reduced and consumed by other areas for processing, and it's a very strange effect that it has on humans, and it may make it harder for you to interact socially with people, and that can affect your job opportunities, all kinds of things like that. Success with whatever sex you desire, all kinds of things like that.
and then also too, when I was in middle school and early parts of my high school career or whatever, I was bullied, and that affected my social, I would say, part of my life, and it had a very, very negative effect. So you also want to make sure that you have good social relationships and not just wanting to be friends with every yahoo in town or whatever. You need to make sure that you have quality friends or whatever, and you need to make sure that you have that on a day-to-day basis. There's been research statistics or research studies that have come out and said that You know, people who have good friendships with other people, it's like having, in terms of like general happiness, it's like making an extra 100. I think, yeah, it was something like that in this research study, but they basically said it's like making an extra, certain amount of money every year that, if you didn't have one, you wouldn't have that boost in your mental well-being. So
very cool.
Yeah. So the last part of this video, we want to talk about stress. Now, most people have to deal with stress on a day-to-day basis. And I don't see how most people, or how anyone doesn't have to deal with stress unless you're like some sort of heiress to a billionaire or something like that, and you don't have to work at all, and maybe then you might not have stress at all in your life. But most people do have to deal with stress on a day-to-day basis. And there's a couple of things that you can do to maintain and regulate the amount of stress you have in your life. And the first thing I would say is when you're done with work and you're done with your homework or whatever, then leave your work and homework, at the office or in your book bag, and then try to do an activity that's fun, or something that is that will make you happy, such as playing video games or playing basketball or something like that. You got any tips, Gary?
For me, especially when I was in the middle of school, one thing that I always used to do that would help me relieve my stress is go swim. Sometimes, like, if you're angry about something, if you're really anxious about something that's coming up, you can almost beat it out in the water. Just completely, like, swim as hard as you can, and then next thing you know, you're feeling way better about everything that's going on in the world. You feel more relaxed and ready to take on your challenges.
Speaking of beating stuff up, one way that I definitely deal with stress when it comes to being in college for engineering or whatever is by having a healthy sexual relationship with my girlfriend. Now, to a lot of people, this might be a little bit more difficult, but I would say that having sex has been shown, since the beginning of time to be one of man's best friends when it comes to relieving stress. And then also too,
doggy style, man's best friend.
Yeah, and then also too, think about it this way. If sometimes when your girlfriend or wife or whatever is not around, or is not in the mood, just remember you have these two hands too.
Palmala? I don't know what the other one's name is.
Lubriderm is about what? $5 for a big bottle, lasts you a couple months, or in case of me, maybe 2 months. But yeah, that's all we really gotta say about all these topics in general. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Just remember, this is Cosmic Cognition. I'm gonna have his link to his channel in the description below. And I'm College Talk TV, so subscribe to our channels, like these videos, tell us how we did in the comments below.
Add your own input. We know we don't cover everything, man. It's like a 5-minute, 10-minute video at the latest. So
yeah, I mean, we can have a documentary go for like an hour long, but we want to keep it nice and brisk and to
this
the
is
point.
just to get people started. So if you can, spread the information.
Yeah. So thanks for watching and enjoy your evening.